Hi guys, I'm back for a follow-up. Isn't this crazy? I haven't done blogs or video blogs in forever, and now I'm doing two. It's nuts. But I went back and I watched the testimony that I posted yesterday, and I felt like I was rushing through it, and that's only because we were nearing the end of Zach's little nap time, so I just wanted to get it posted and out there and share my story because I felt bad. I had promised for weeks and weeks, and I just have never, I hadn't gotten around to it. So yesterday I felt like, let's just get it up there. So I did, but I actually took some notes because there were a few things, I was just rushing through it so fast that there were a few things that I sort of didn't get back into detail with, and I wanted to go back and revisit real quick. I only took one round of Clomid. A few of you asked if I took more than one round. I only did one cycle of Clomid, and that was in April. The end of April, I did 100 milligrams. And my doctor, she really basically said, this is kind of it. This is your first and last chance with Clomid. If 100 milligrams doesn't work with you, then I'm going to refer you to a fertility specialist because I don't feel comfortable prescribing you with another round of 100 milligrams. Because normally, in most cases, when you take Clomid, you start out with 50 milligrams. And if 50 milligrams doesn't work one month, then the next month, maybe you'll try 50 milligrams again. And if that doesn't work, then your doctor will bump you up to 100 milligrams. So right out of the gate, we were doing 100 milligrams. So I was really, really hoping that the Clomid was going to work. I really was, because 100 milligrams was a lot. My body had never been, exposed to anything like this. I've never done anything like this. So I really thought it was going to work. Unfortunately, it did not, but that's okay because God had bigger plans. So I only did one round of Clomid, and when that Clomid didn't work after we got the results of the ultrasound and my doctor didn't see any cysts at all going on either side, either ovary, that's when we went to a fertility specialist, and he sort of basically said the same thing my doctor said. Stop running. You got to cut back on all the high impact activity because it's not doing your body any good. If you don't get a period by the end of the summer, then we can think about injectable hormones. Because at that time, my doctor had me on estrogen. I was taking an estrogen patch. I was wearing it on my bikini line, and I had to switch it out twice a week. So I was on that, and I was scheduled to start a prescription of Prometrium, which is progesterone, in July. And July, after 12 days of taking that, it would have forced a period and hopefully have sort of kind of restarted my cycle, my body. But like I told you earlier, I have never been regular for years. And after I had Zach, I just never got a cycle. It just never came. So I was ovulating. I just wasn't cycling. So it was very unpredictable. We just never knew when I was ovulating. It was like, a Cracker Jack box pulling a prize out. You just never knew what you got. So, Sonic, by the way. So good. That's that. Okay, so then, again, about my church, Gateway. I got a lot of questions about Gateway. People are moving down and they're looking for a church, and Gateway is amazing. It is probably the biggest and most important thing that I've become a part of since moving to Texas, and it is the best thing. It has been the best thing for my life, and I love it. And Gateway is... there's a few campuses in South Lake, Frisco, North Richland Hills, Fort Worth. They just opened one in Arizona, but primarily in the Dallas suburbs. And for those of you that are living in Houston, a few of you were asking about churches there. Joel Osteen's church is the big church down in Houston. So if you are coming to the Dallas area, I so encourage you to go to Gateway because it is like nothing you have ever been to. I can promise you that. It is not your standard. I grew up in a Catholic church, and it ain't anything like the Catholic church at all. So... being part of the church has definitely helped me in my journey of becoming closer with God. The more I'm there, the more I feel connected. So I'm so excited. I can't say enough things about church. I'm going tonight, as a matter of fact. Habitation is a service that they have at my church, Gateway, and you can go to gatewaypeople.com and please watch on a Saturday at 5:45 or at 4 o'clock on a Saturday or 5:45 on a Saturday evening or at 9, 10:45 and 12:30 on Sundays. You can watch it live. Please just trust me. Watch it. You will love it. Love it. Maybe you'll even see me in a chair somewhere. But Habitation is a service that they have once a month. It's on a Sunday, and it's basically 2 hours. 1 hour is just all worship, and then the second hour is testimonies. So I went to my very first Habitation in May with my girlfriend Lindsay, and after the worship came the testimonies. And like I said in yesterday's video, the couple that were Skyping in from Chicago were told they couldn't have kids. They removed her left ovary, and of course she's testifying that she's 4 months pregnant. So I knew at that very moment that the Lord put me at that service for a reason. That was the very first testimony of the night, and I really felt like it spoke to me. And I was supposed to see that testimony to give me even more hope that there was a chance we were going to have a baby. And this is, of course, the week following, the appointment where I found out I didn't, the Clomid didn't work. So at one point the pastor said, if you need a healing within your body, you need the Lord to touch you in some way, please stand up. And so I did stand up, and the people around me that stood up, we were all sort of, obviously standing up for different reasons, but the rest of the church laid their hands on us, and the pastor said this beautiful 2-minute prayer. My girlfriend Lindsay had her hand on my stomach. This girl that I didn't even know walked 2 seats over from me on the right, and she had her hand on my shoulder, and for those 2.5 minutes the church prayed this beautiful prayer, and I felt almost like I was going to pass out. This heat flash came over me, and again, just more confirmation that I'm supposed to be here. This is going to happen. I know it. And I left that church. My friend Lindsay and I are crying. If you go to this church, wear waterproof mascara because you will be in tears. Every time I walk into Gateway, I'm always on the verge of tears. Happy tears, because the church just makes, this sounds so cliche, but your heart sing. You just want to embrace every single second of it and soak it in it's just awesome. And so that night, Lindsay and I, we left the church, and we're both a wreck, and we just talked about everything, and we just, felt very strongly that we were put there for a reason that night. And I don't know if I mentioned yesterday in the video, but that Monday, we were at Habitation Sunday night. Monday is when I went to Target, and I saw that EPT test, and it was on sale, and I just figured, let me just get this test. All of these tests that I've been taking all along have been negative, so it's not like I'm going to be shocked if it's negative, but I don't know, there's just something inside of me feels like maybe, just maybe. And that's when I came home that afternoon and took the test, and as I was staring at it, and the sign was developing, I just saw this faded, one line, and then in the window next to it, a plus. And I just fell to the floor, just on my knees, thanking God. So that was just, I got a crazy God in me moment, I guess. And just rewind. I'm sorry I'm all over the place because I took these notes and I did not obviously take I wasn't good at ordering them. About a week prior to taking the test, I finished reading a book called Praying Circles, or Making Prayer Circles. I'll put the link in the box below. But basically it was a pastor that wrote the book, and he was saying that if you want something, you desire something, and you need a prayer answered, you got to pray circles around what you want. You got to pray circles. So I felt very foolish, but I didn't care. I took my rosary beads and I went up to our future baby's nursery, and I walked around the room. I prayed in circles for 5 minutes. I just prayed to the Lord that one day this room, would be occupied by a baby. And of course, this prayer circle moment happened right after we found out the Clomid didn't work, but before Habitation. Follow me? I'm sorry I'm all over the place. So I think that was definitely a big moment, big factor in my journey. And I got a few questions about the name Faith. This is how I know that the Lord was speaking to me, because Faith, the name Faith is gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but it was never on my radar. I never envisioned having a baby, a girl, and part of her name being Faith. But he clearly told me in that message that day at church that you're going to have a girl, and Faith needs to be part of her name. So at that moment, I committed to him that whatever, if we have a girl, Faith will be part of her name. So we have a first name, but the middle name is going to be Faith. Absolutely going to be Faith. So I'm sorry that this has been like crazy. I'm like all over the place. You're probably ready to like, you need to calm down and have a cup of coffee or something because I've sort of skipped everywhere. But if you are going through what I went through, I encourage you and just pray big. Just pray big. God wants big, fat, juicy prayers from you. He wants to answer them. So just have hope, because reading your comments and your tweets and your emails and stuff last night, I mean, I cannot tell you how thrilled and happy and relieved that you guys received my message so positively and you're so supportive. I mean, I knew you would, but I also in the back of my mind knew what I was getting into, putting that out there for everyone to see. I mean, I'm in the media. I know how it is. There are haters out there. They're going to say what they're going to say, but the people, you guys know what I'm talking about, and I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for watching and sharing your stories with me, and just know that it does not matter what the doctors tell you. My doctor was like, Clomid didn't work. You're going to have to do you're going to have to go down another road. Here we are at a fertility specialist. I'm 34 years old. What am I doing at a fertility specialist's office? And all these thoughts were going through my mind, and it really, God has a plan, and that's just my point, is just pray on it, and don't lose faith, and believe, and praise Him, and give your time. If you know, whatever, if you go to a temple, a church, whatever it is that you're involved in, just give your time and sacrifice a little bit, and you know, He will answer your prayers. I know that for a fact. So that is the second part of my testimony. I'm glad I was able to go back and cover some of the stuff I missed yesterday. So again, thank you so much for watching and hanging with me, and I will I'll keep you updated. I don't know if you can see the belly. Hold on. Let me stand up so you can see the belly. Can you see? So yeah, I'll be 18 weeks on Monday, September 16th. All right, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.